Yeah, extremely suspect that Inoue was bitching and complaining about getting random tested. And Inoue is an arrogant man from what I've dealt with him. I've got to interview him here in the States. I'm a big fan of him as a fighter. But he is a little arrogant, and he is a little bit used to having his way and having his ass kissed and treated like a king at home in Japan. So he showed that entitlement when Vada was like, yeah, it's random. What the fuck do you think is the point of us testing you? Of course it's random. And he bitched about it, and then the fight got moved to a later date. So that is suspect. Yeah, this is at the top levels of professional sport. Nothing surprises me in that. Yeah.
What's going on, people? So there's been some drama in the Inoue versus Fulton fight. First of all, you heard the accusations from Fight Hype that Inoue's been sus on the PED testing, and in the last day or two, Fulton's team have come out and said the following about Inoue's glove wrapping.
I have a safety concern that I would like to address. In previous fights, Inoue and his team has wrapped his hands with excessive amount of tape on his skin, then placing gauze and more tape, which creates a cast.
というのも前回の試合では自分たちにとってあまり納得のいってない結果にもなり、自分たちにとってはこの試合こそしっかりとクリーンに行っていきたいと思っています。
This is not an assumption, I have proof. We could also wrap our hands in the same fashion, but then again, where is the level of safety for the fighters?
そしてこの試合そのものが選手たちのレベル、そして選手たちの質を下げることのないように祈ります。
If this issue isn't resolved, I would not let my fighter into the ring.
そしてこのような問題がまだまだ起こるようでしたら、選手たちがリングに上がる意味はなくなってくると思います。
We are already behind enemy lines. We have made no request, nothing at all. We have not even asked for a rematch clause. This is the only request that I'm demanding.
So, you heard there from Fulton's trainer, and if you can see on the right, Fulton was kind of pulling faces when his trainer was saying them things as if he didn't know. Oh, come on, people. Of course, his trainer must have told him what he was going to say, but he wants to look like he, you know what I mean? He wants to look like he still won it. Listen, you know what? Let's start with the PED rubbish first. The PED rubbish. I mean, in the day, man, from what I understand, VADA testing happened. They say, oh, the fight got pushed back, which implies that Inoue was kind of juiced, and then, listen, it takes a lot longer than 2 months for the juice to get out of your system if you're juiced. Yeah? And it does also have to be said, specifically, from what I understand, the reason Inoue was complaining was that apparently, I think it was 2 or 3 tests a week. He was complaining at the amount of it. He doesn't want all of his blood taken, which is fair enough. I guess the argument against that is the fact that, well, both fighters have to have no blood in their system. But I don't know. Again, I'm not a juice expert yet, but I assume if you're tested once a week, there's no juice you can take that's going to disappear in your system after 1 week, for example. So I'm not sure the need. Maybe there is, maybe I'm wrong, but I can't see the need of multiple times a week. Nonetheless, it's important to note, regardless of suspicions, there is VADA testing, so we can forget about that. Now, was Inoue juiced 6 months ago? Is it relevant? Probably. I don't think so. I don't think you're going to keep gains from 6 months ago. So, I'll forget about that. Not to mention, Inoue is going up in weight, which means, Fulton's the bigger man, Fulton's the champion at that weight. He should be, you know what I mean? Well, you've got that advantage, which is a big advantage. Canelo versus Bivol, for example. And now it's the next thing. Although Fulton's team themselves didn't mention the PED stuff, they're now talking about the gloves. Listen, it's important to see you see this as well, because Inoue's team have come out, or Inoue himself came out on Twitter and put the following post out. Japan has its own rules, own local rules. Even in the US, there are local rules in each state, and the winding methods for the hand wraps are different. Our fight will be held in Japan on the 25th. So of course I will follow the Japanese rules. Don't suck it up, just fight. Wow, punking him. Yeah, and this is the risk, you see. It's a risk because nothing's... Listen, Inoue is Japan champion, yeah? Japan ain't going to come out and change their rules that have been in place since time began, I assume, for some corny dude from the US, in their eyes. I'm not sure, so I don't get where's the upside here? Either wrap your hands how they wrap their hands, so it's equal. Bear in mind, people, yeah, he's talking about fighter safety. People fight in 4-ounce gloves, yeah? There's no amount... Having a bit of... His complaint is that Inoue's team are doing tape, gauze, tape. That's not a paper mache, yeah? That's not... What did he say it was? Cast. Is it more firm? Probably, marginally. But like I said, there's people getting kicked in the head in the UFC with their shin bone. Yeah? So don't worry about a bit of tape on the thing. Like I said, use the same tape that they do, the same style they're doing with your big ass, relatively. Fulton is the bigger man. You should be saying damn. And bear in mind, Fulton can't punch. So he should be saying damn, we're lucky it's in Japan. Because we might be able to, we're fixing to get some power now. That's what you should be thinking. No power have an ass. And I ain't gonna lie, I put some money on Fulton for what it's worth. To maybe nick the fight on points. Or sorry, tell a lie. I put money on the fight going the distance. I don't think Inoue going to stop Fulton. I don't think Fulton... I know Fulton ain't stopping no one. But I think Inoue... I don't think Inoue going to stop him. If he does, fair play to him. He's seriously dangerous. And that... I mean, if I was Inoue now... Any upset or any fear I had of Fulton is kind of evaporating now. Yeah, evaporating. These guys trying to throw something at the wall. Oh, his gloves are too hit. Oh. You know what I mean? Like, come on, people. Over. Fair enough. Listen, if there was evidence that Inoue was genuinely cast in his hands, I'd say, yeah, of course. But to say one piece of tape here, one extra piece of tape on the... That's not doing anything, people. Bear in mind, they've got 8-ounce gloves on. Who here thinks one piece of tape, gauze, another piece of tape, and then 8-ounce gloves? Who here thinks that bottom piece of tape is going to do something? I don't think so. Certainly not enough to cry about it. At this point, I believe the best narrative should be, hey man, listen. He could have 10, he can put 10 pieces of tape on for what it's worth, because he ain't going to do none. His little ass ain't going to do none. You understand? That should be the narrative now. It's fight. You're here on fight week. Like, it's too late now. If you had a problem with the rules, you should have made that clear 3 months ago. Hey, yo, listen. Happy to come to Japan. Happy to do a unification, or whatever they call it. Yeah, a champion versus champion fight. But the rules, they bugging. Yeah? This is our only condition. That's when you do it. You don't wait till you're in Japan and start trying to... Man, that's whack. That sounds like you're scary. Yeah? You know what I mean? Like, no, that's played out. And I think Fulton... Most people expect Fulton to get knocked out. I don't. So I'm not a hater. But let's be serious here, people. It's a scary... And the fact that Fulton had to do the whole face thing, like, oh, I didn't know this. That shows that they know how it looks. Yeah? For him, he wouldn't be screwed... If he believed in the cause, if he thought the cause was a proper one, he wouldn't need to do all this, would he? Because he'd be saying, yeah, I'm backing that. But... He had to screw his face up to imply, oh, I didn't know, and like, no, you knew. And that worries me for his sake. Are these guys scared of Inoue's power? You know what I mean? That's what it's looking like. They're alleging that all of his power's coming from the extra bit of tape there. That don't even make sense. Anyway, people, it's going to be an interesting fight. If Inoue sparks Fulton, then yeah, he's dangerous for sure. I haven't really followed the lower weights, but if Fulton gets completely smoked, because these little dudes don't smoke no one, because they're little. If Inoue smokes Fulton, then yeah, he's gonna get flowers. Let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, and leck off the bow 100%, no doubt.